Welcome everyone, this is Corey Babka from the Marks Group Live. Excited to be here today teaching getting started with automation in Zoho CRM. We're just going to review all options within the automation area, just a general overview of what each one does here today. After the training's over, feel free to email us at support@marksgrouplive.com for any of your training needs, questions on the subject, or anything Zoho. Be sure to rate this class as well, helping out your fellow Marks Group subscribers, Marks Group Live subscribers, and our other users. Okay, here are some of the main points that we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about how to use automation to make your day-to-day processes more efficient. We're talking about workflows and blueprints, how they're used to automate your repetitive tasks. We're also going to talk briefly about assignment rules, approval processes, case escalation, things to assist with your own quote-unquote workflow. And what I mean by that is not the systematic programmed workflow within Zoho. I mean the actual your day-to-day is what it is. Okay, so we're going to jump into this right now. We're just going to go over to Zoho and show how this works. Okay. So when I'm looking at this here, right, what we're doing is we're going to end up in the setup area is where we are. Okay, now the setup, if you know CRM Plus, it's a gear icon. CRM or Zoho 1 or Zoho CRM only is a wrench and a screwdriver, and we click on that to get back to our setup. What we're going to cover today is the automation area down here. Okay, now let's just start out with workflow rules. So what's nice about each one of these is when I click on the setup here, it actually goes in and gives me a description about each one and what they do. So in this case here, we can look at workflow, which are just automations in the system that are used to either send maybe an email notification, update a field, create a module or create a child record, maybe create a lead record, create an activity, create a task, those types of things. And they're based on triggers is what they are. So if I change my account type from prospect to customer, I could then send an email notification out to someone in the accounting team to add an email with all that prospect's information, which just turned to a customer. So all that customer information in one nice email template, and it would go over to Sally in accounting, and then Sally can take that information and then write it in the ERP system. Okay, so you have this idea of notifying people automatically. No one has to copy and paste information. No one has to manually remember to write an email. It's done for you. So it's those repetitive tasks is what you're looking at. Those repetitive tasks that allow you to, go and just anything that takes up time during the day, you're automating it and you're letting the system work for you. That's why we have a CRM. Okay. Now, blueprints are a little bit different. Blueprints are more of a prompt through the system. It prompts your users. Blueprints actually exist. I believe that we have one here in the lead area. Actually, let me go back. I'll tell you if this one's on, and I'll show you what it looks like. We have one that is there, and it is on the solutions. Let's see, it's a Q&A blueprint. I'm actually going to look to see where it is. Yeah, so this one is at the solution stage, okay? And so what happens is if I go here and look at a solution, you're going to look at this record, and we'll do a new one. And we could do all this type of stuff, and we test it out. But what happens is if I go here, you can see that in the top, there's usually a blueprint is what it is, okay? Let me see if there's anything else here. No, it is turned on, but it's not here because it's already been closed out. What you end up with is a blueprint sits on the upper part of the screen where right below the business card, what we call the business card. So if I look at a lead area, right, I'll look at a lead. Right below this is a blueprint right here. Okay, so here's our business card and this is a blueprint. And what you're looking at is it's a status that says contact in future, which is locked. And the blueprint is used to say, oh, what am I going to do here? What's the state? And I'm going to schedule a demo. So it pops open a little window and says, when do you want to schedule the demo? And I can save it. And that's doing the activity. So what a blueprint is doing is a choose your own adventure in a way. That's what I like to call them. And it forces your user to either add data or schedule tasks based on what you're looking for. based on a status. So in this case here, the status of draft, we can mark it duplicate, we can answer it, or we can add a comment. And by doing each of those actions, the blue are the actions, you're actually going to end up saying, oh, this is answered, that's the status now, and it's closed out. This one, it's a duplicate, so we close it out with a status of duplicate. This one, we add a comment, which will actually prompt to add the comment, and then it will go into a status of reviewed, and then you can add another comment, and then it would be updated, and then there it is. Okay, so it's a really nice way of guiding your users through a process to make sure they enter the right data, they add data to the right places, and they're actually going through the right statuses or updating your records. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. We've got approval processes. Okay, now approval processes are those that, let's say I have an opportunity that's over $50,000 or a quote that's over 50 grand. I need to send out a quote. Well, I can't do anything with it yet or convert that quote to an order unless I get approval from the manager. So what happens with an approval process is the manager is notified that here's a new quote over $50,000 and it needs to be approved. Once they approve it, it then notifies the salesperson that this has been approved and now they can go and convert it to order. However, it can't just go through it. It's based on criteria. It allows you to make sure that there's controls in place and certain things like invoices, orders, quotes, opportunities. It's important to that. Okay. Going a little further, we've got schedules and we've got actions. Now, schedules and actions can work a little bit hand in hand, but we've already kind of discussed them. So a schedule is just, schedule is more of like scheduling an action item, a task, a report, an email at a particular date and time. Could be every week, Thursday at noon. Could be once a month, whatever that schedule would be. But a schedule does not just sit alone, right? What a schedule does is it actually is a scheduled item, and then it ends up doing a function like this, which is update Zoho, which is just a task, right? This is actually a custom function in Deluge, right? And so this is what it does, and it sends out a weekly reminder to update Zoho, and it sends out something to Megan, and that's what it is there. That is a custom function, but it works hand in hand with the schedule. It can't work by itself. So that's all the schedule does. Now, actions we've talked about. Actions are just those things that workflows do, or maybe even blueprints if we have a blueprint that actually is scheduling an action. But a workflow works hand in hand with actions. Are we emailing someone? Are we creating a task? Are we updating any fields? Are we busting out a webhook, something else where we need to make sure that it does something on the website or it cracks open and connects with something on the web? Is it a custom function in Deluge, right? Is it updating a particular field, right? Is it a task, right? I want to create a task that's called reminder for ABC company follow-up, okay? Email notification. Lead is pre-qualified. What's this email? It goes to TMG Live Admin, and the email template is pre-qualified. These are all items that are themselves, they all work together to create that automation, okay? These last three, just to kind of go over briefly, and again, this is more of an overview video, so you're only going to get that whole general what is going on inside of Zoho. We actually have broken these out into their own videos after this on the rest of our library, so please refer to that for a little bit more. This is more to get me in tune with what is it that I need to learn more about, okay, and I'm hoping that that's what you're getting. Assignment rules in this case is what we do a lot of times with leads. So if I import 100 leads from a trade show and I need to assign them to the different salespeople based on criteria, right? So it could be state, it could be region, it could be product interest. And based on that criteria, it's going to assign ownership to those individuals. And that's what we're looking at, okay? You could also do this with accounts, contacts, opportunities, but lead assignment is generally, assignment rules, we do a lot for leads. So in this case here, I would say leads by country. So if the country is the United States, okay, I'm going to make the lead is TMG Gen User. Otherwise, it's going to go to the admin, okay, like a house account, right? That's a lead assignment rule, right? We could also go back and we've got things round robin. Now, round robin is a little bit different, but it allows you to equal the, level out that playing field of your sales team, right? And they can go through and make sure that you're assigning on 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so it's all even and not biased towards any particular person. Okay, those are assignment rules. Now, beyond that, we've got case escalation rules, which are essentially those rules that are placed on the case module specifically based on either time or status that it gets escalated. A lot of times your typical example would be that this is a VIP customer and it's been 3 hours and no one's touched this case, so I'm going to escalate it to the chief technician, right? That's an escalation rule. Again, automating a process so someone doesn't have to sit there and babysit a list of cases, okay? VIP cases, same type of thing. Here's your case escalation rules. The last one we're going to talk about today are scoring rules, okay? And scoring rules are more for lead ranking, okay? When you can take a lead and you can rank that lead as to are they, instead of hot, warm, cold, you could do it with a number basis so you can actually quantify. If they have an annual revenue over 100,000, you add 10 points. If the lead status is demo scheduled, add another 2, right? If the lead status is junk, you subtract 10. But what you want to look at is just these numbers, and then you can go into your lead views and you can actually add your scoring in. I don't have it here, but I could add in the scoring into a column and you would see it. In this case here, my lead ranking is down here a little bit, and you see there's my score. You see they're all locked, right? Because it's doing it through a formula. It's doing it systematically. So we can actually do this and say, I want to find everybody that is a 5 or higher that has not been touched in 30 days. That's what we need for scoring, okay? And that's your automation. I mean, this is your area right here within. Again, a general overview of that. And then you can dive in a little bit deeper based on this overview here into which videos work best for you instead of going all through everything and having a 2-hour video, because that's essentially what this would be. Okay, so again, going back into our takeaways, we're looking at automation is there to make your day-to-day processes much more efficient. Okay, that's why we've got CRM, and that's what we want to do. Workflow and blueprints, they're used to take and automate repetitive tasks. Okay, they work in turn with schedules and action items, right? Actions like emails, tasks, so on and so forth, right? And then at the end there, we've got assignment rules, approval processes, and your case escalation. They're there, again, to assist with your day-to-day processes and almost take work away from people. Not so that they're replaced, but that we can use them more efficiently in other capacities that do need more of a manual intervention. Think about your workflow on a day-to-day basis. Are there certain things that are repeat, 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 and it's the same action over and over and over again? This is why you have Zoho CRM. This is why you want to use automation. This is what you went through. Okay? So I hope that was it. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that gives you a nice overview of things. Okay? Check out the video library for other videos, like I said, especially the ones that are kind of a subtext of these, where we dive a little bit deeper into the other pieces of automation. Okay? Any suggestions for this class or other classes? Any questions? Please email us at support@marksgrouplive.com. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining.